Good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Last class lecture, do you people have any doubts from it?
Good morning, sir. Sir, actually, I had one doubt.
Bolo.
Sir, for resolving a vector, sir, does that mean that we are understanding in which direction a force will affect by how much?
In which direction? Okay, not an issue. It has so many applications, not just one. Addition of vectors become easy, subtraction of vectors become easy once I resolve a vector, which we will learn. Right now, I just want to know if this is a force. What is its component in the x-axis? What is its component in the y-axis? If this is the force acting on a block, what component of the force is acting in this direction? What component is acting in this direction? Now, its application will be huge. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, vectors, all of them you can use this resolving of the vector.
Okay.
So actually my admissions happened a little late, so I missed your first class. So can you tell what did you do in the first class?
Can you log on to that YouTube channel in which I uploaded that lecture?
Okay, I'll check the recorded video.
Yeah, I uploaded the lecture. Every lecture I'll upload it there. Directly you can see. So, shall I assume all of you understood how to resolve a vector? Okay. Now, this we take one more step ahead. Before that, there are a few definitions or few properties that you should know. Right? What are all the kind of vectors? You already know two kinds of vectors. Kind of vectors. Unit vector. This is something that we learned in the last class. You will represent a unit vector with a cap. It is unit magnitude. That means a vector divided by magnitude, I am left with direction. A vector divided by magnitude, I am left with direction. So unit vector is a vector with unit magnitude and direction. Second, zero vector or null vector. Zero magnitude. This is a hypothetical vector. It has zero magnitude. You cannot define its direction. And direction not defined. Direction not defined. Why will you not define direction here? Zero force. What direction do you want me to give? It doesn't have a direction. So direction will not be defined in this case. Null vector has zero magnitude and direction not defined. Equal vector. Equal vector. Same magnitude, same direction. Same magnitude and same direction. Two vectors are considered to be equal if they are of the same length and in the same direction. If they are in the same length and in the same direction. Parallel vectors, you know, two vectors are in the same direction, they are parallel. I will define them, take it down till here.
Sir, identical vectors and equal vectors are same.
Yeah, identical vectors and equal vectors are the same.
So the formula for unit vector is vector upon magnitude of vector.
Yeah, vector upon its magnitude.
Okay.
So magnitude gets cancelled, it becomes 1, you are left with direction. I cap is officially called the unit vector along x-axis. J cap is officially called unit vector along y-axis. K cap is officially called unit vector along z-axis.
So in which direction is the positive z-axis?
Generally, we take x in this direction, y in this direction, z in this direction. We go in anti-clockwise. X is this way, y is this way, z is this way. So negative z will be into the plane of the board, positive z will be out of the plane of the board.
Okay, sir.
Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No. When do you call them parallel vectors? Parallel vectors are when they are in the same direction. I call this F1, I call this F2. Two vectors in the same direction are called parallel vectors. Two vectors in the same direction are called parallel vectors. Anti-parallel vectors, also referred to as unlike vectors. One is in this direction, the other is in this direction. They are anti-parallel vectors or unlike vectors. Take it down till here.
So,
Huh.
so this means anti-parallel vectors are vectors who are parallel but in opposite direction.
Perfect. This is F1, this is F2. Angle between them should be 180 degrees. Another way of presenting the same. Angle
Okay.
between the vectors should be 180 degrees. If angle between the vectors is 0, they are parallel. 180 degree anti-parallel.
Sir.
Sir, I have a doubt. In case of parallel vectors, one vector is a scalar multiple of the other one, no?
I didn't cover scalar multiple, no, yeah.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
are you running for that? Don't. Wait.
Done, sir.
Now, concurrent vectors. Concurrent vectors. This will be a concurrent vector combination. F1, F2, F3. They are concurrent co-initial vectors, also referred to as co-initial vectors. That means the tails of the vector should be at one point. Same initial points or co-initial vectors. The initial point of the vector is at the same point for all three. Then they are concurrent vectors. Co-initial vectors is the key catch.
So their magnitude can be different, right?
Magnitude can be different. That's why you showed F1, F2, F3. If not, we would have shown with equal magnitude. To highlight that, make this a bit larger, I don't mind. Coplanar vectors are vectors which are on the same plane. Coplanar vectors. Vectors lying on the same plane. Vectors lying on same plane. That means if you take this to be a plane, I have got F1 and I have got F2. F1 and F2 are coplanar. They are lying on the same plane. Right? Two vectors, three vectors or n vectors on the same plane will be called as coplanar vectors.
Sir, are they also concurrent?
Matlab,
Like they have the same initial point, right?
need not. Need not. Coplanar vectors could be as well this. This can be F1, this can be F2.
Okay.
They need not be concurrent. Can I rub the board?
So can you just repeat coplanar vectors again? Because
Coplanar in the same plane. Coplanar vectors are vectors in the same plane. Suppose this is xy plane. This is one vector, this is one vector, this is one vector. All in the same plane are called coplanar vectors.
So sir, everyone will be I cap, right?
No. Why should it be along I cap?
I cap, J cap, or J cap, I cap, or I cap, K cap.
This is a plane. This is x-axis. I can have something like this. I can have something like this. I can have something like this. Not I cap. They are in one plane. It could be any plane.
Okay.
And in one plane, I can have series two. Do they appear along I cap? Neither of them is along I cap.
Sir,
Got
their component should be only in two axes.
Why do you complicate so much here? Two vectors on the same plane. Is this rocket science? The more you complicate, the more difficult it becomes. Make life simple. Two vectors in the same plane, any damn direction. I can have one in this direction, one in this direction. Positive x-axis, negative x-axis. Right? Two vectors in the same plane. As simple as that. Make it simple. Don't complicate it. Can I rub the board?
Sir, the plane can be
Yes, sir.
vertical too, right?
Plane can be,
Vertical.
tell me, anything. Need not be horizontal plane. It can be the plane of the board. It can be the plane of the board. If two vectors are in the same plane, they are called coplanar vectors. Now listen, from here we go slightly into the mathematical part of it. We will define a position vector. Position vector. What do you mean by a position vector? Whenever I want to describe a vector, I should be able to tell you its magnitude and direction, right? Now assume I keep the tail of the vector at the origin. I keep the tail of the vector at the origin. And I draw this vector this way. When can you tell me the magnitude? If I tell you the coordinates of the head of the vector x, comma, y. I can tell you the magnitude and even direction. How will you tell me the direction? Tan theta will be y by x. Tan theta will be y by x. All of you know what is sin theta, cos theta, and tan theta. I assume that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, direction, how will you tell me? The vector makes an angle of tan theta with x-axis. So, I get the direction. Right? Next, magnitude, how will you tell me? Magnitude of the vector will be root over of x square plus y square. Magnitude of the vector is root over of x square
Yes,
plus
sir.
y square. So now I know the magnitude, I know the direction. I have described the vector. Now
Yes,
this
sir.
is, whenever I give you two coordinates this way, it's a common understanding in maths that the first number represents the x coordinate, second number represents the y coordinate. 2, 3. 2 is the x component, 3 is the y component. Right? Now we see that we will represent this in vector form. Suppose I called it A comma B. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. This is A comma B, coordinates of the head of the vector. A comma B. A is along the x component. This is what you want to tell me. This is A. So the vector R will hereafter be represented as AI cap plus B is the y component. So BJ cap. Whenever I give you AI cap plus 2J cap implies coordinates of the head of the vector are A comma B, tail of the vector is at the origin. Coordinates of the head of the vector is A comma B, tail of the vector is at origin. We'll practice a few, take it down till here.
So, sir, is it compulsory that when R vector is AI cap plus BJ cap, that means that its tail will be at origin?
Yes, because you are telling me the position of the head with respect to the tail. Position vector is when you are telling me the position of the head with respect to the tail, with respect to that will be the origin. Tail of this vector, position vector must be at the origin. Only then I can define A comma B. I change the position of the origin, value of A comma B will be different. Position vector is position of the head of the vector with respect to the origin.
Sir,
Okay.
if the vector was in x and minus y part, then it would be a cap minus b j cap, right?
Yes.
So then also we can say that the tail end is at origin.
Anytime it has to be, it's not your choice.
Okay.
Tail of the vector has to be at the origin. Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I write a vector as minus 2I cap plus 3j. How will I draw this vector? This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. 1, 2, 3. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Now, minus 2I cap, minus 1, minus 3j cap, 1, 2, 3. Did you understand how to draw the vector? Minus 2, 3 will be the coordinates of the head of the vector. Tail of the vector is at the origin. Take this down and draw 2I cap minus 4j cap minus 4I cap minus 3j. Draw both the vectors. Now R is 2I cap minus 4J cap. 2I cap minus 4J cap. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. 2I cap minus 4J cap. This will be the vector. Wish I could draw a straight line. This will be the head of the vector. This will be the tail of the vector. 2, comma, minus 4. 2, comma, minus 4. I know the magnitude, I know the direction. By the way, what is the magnitude of this vector? Magnitude of the vector is 2 square plus minus 4 whole square. 4 plus 16 root 20 units will be the magnitude of this vector. Direction, I can give you the direction either as the angle made by the x-axis or y-axis. If I take this as theta, tan theta will be 4 by 2. 4 divided by 2. Opposite side by adjacent side.
Sir, the angle will be negative, right?
Yes, I'll define that in another 5 minutes. Now, how do you represent this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 4, minus 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the head of the vector. Minus 4, comma, minus 3. Minus 4, you are taking on x-axis because it is with the I cap. Coefficient of I cap will be the x coordinate. Coefficient of j cap will be the y coordinate. This will be the vector. What is the magnitude of this vector? Root over of 4 whole square plus 3 whole square. Technically minus 4 whole square minus 3 whole square will turn out to be 5 units. Now, if you take this angle to be theta, then I'll say tan theta is equal to 4 by 4 opposite side by adjacent side. Tan theta will always be opposite side by adjacent side. If you measure this angle, then tan phi will be 3 by 4. It depends on which angle you are measuring or which angle is asked. Tan phi will be this length, opposite side by adjacent side, 3 by 4. Tan theta will be 4 by 3.
So if the arrow is going down, then the gradient should be negative, right?
What should be negative?
Gradient of the vector.
Gradient, why do you want to? Did we define gradient? We'll define it in mathematical physics. Next step. Can I rub the board?
Yes.
Sir,
हाँ, बोलो.
sir, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Sir, we take the theta from the y-axis or the x-axis.
The paper setter in the multiple choice will tell you theta is the angle between the vector and the x-axis.
Okay.
Or theta is the angle between vector and y-axis. If he is asking between the vector and x-axis, then it is phi. Between the vector and the y-axis, then it is theta. That to positive y, negative. He will specify that options in the 4 options. There is no compulsion that I'll always have to measure from x-axis. Nor is there any compulsion that angle should be measured from y-axis. It purely depends on our options.
Sir, done.
Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
Now listen. As a convention, all angles measured in anti-clockwise are positive, clockwise are negative. For instance, if this angle is measured, if I tell you vector r makes an angle of theta with the positive x-axis, vector r makes an angle of theta with positive x-axis. I will measure theta in anti-clockwise direction. Suppose I tell you vector r makes an angle of minus theta with positive x-axis. I hope that part of the board is visible. Positive x-axis minus theta, then I will have to go in the clockwise direction.
So this is also angle of depression. No?
See, don't introduce new words. Keep life simple. Angle of depression, did I define it? Don't. Go with the class. Relax. R makes an angle of theta with the positive x-axis, then no, the boy, what he asked was angle of elevation, angle of depression. That's a different thing. I'm not touching that right now. Theta makes an angle of, R makes an angle of theta with the positive x-axis. So plus theta, I'll go in anti-clockwise, minus theta, I'll go in clockwise direction. Right? But it is told with positive x-axis. Remember, it's told with positive x-axis. If I tell with positive y-axis, so from y-axis go either in anti-clockwise or clockwise.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, in the second diagram, sir, the or actually in both diagrams where the arrow is used to show the direction in which you are measuring, right?
Huh. Anti-clockwise. From the positive x-axis, plus theta will be in anti-clockwise, minus theta will be in clockwise.
So, sir, if we switch the arrow in the second diagram, sir, then it would become plus theta, right?
But then you are not measuring from positive x-axis. You are measuring from R to positive x-axis. It is said with positive x-axis. So I should take the measurement from the positive x-axis. If you want to do the measurement from the vector R till x-axis, then this will be plus theta. But then you will have to tell me x-axis makes an angle of plus theta with the positive direction of the vector. Then the terminology will change. Exact here R makes an angle of minus theta. Then you will write x-axis makes an angle of plus theta with the vector.
Sir, while drawing also we need to write negative theta.
No, we actually don't need to write that minus theta. Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
Now let's come to the basic understanding of how I add, subtract, multiply vectors. In physics, we'll require only that. How should I add two vectors? How should I subtract two vectors? How should I multiply two vectors? First of all, addition of two vectors. Addition of two vectors. If two vectors are in the same direction, addition will be the easiest. I'll add them numerically. If two vectors are in the same direction, I'll add them numerically. This is the easiest thing that can happen. It's more like telling you, I have 5 Newton of a force and 6 Newton of a force acting in the same direction on a body. So what is the total force acting? 11 Newton. I have 5 Newton and 6 Newton acting in the same direction. What is the net force acting? 11 Newton. So add them numerically if the two vectors are in the same direction. This is the simplest thing that can happen. Our trouble comes when they're not in the same direction. What is the rule you will follow when two vectors are not in the same direction? I'll dictate the statement, wait and listen. When two vectors are represented as two sides of a triangle taken in one order, both the vectors should either be in anti-clockwise or they should be in clockwise. If two vectors are represented as two sides of a triangle taken in one order, third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order is the resultant. Third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order is the resultant. Measure the length, that will be the result. I tell you A is 3 Newton, B is 4 Newton. My resultant is not 7 Newton. My resultant is not 7 Newton. I will have to measure this length. It will be less than 7. 3 Newton and 4 Newton resultant will give me 7 Newton only if they are in the same direction. 3 Newton and 4 Newton resultant will be 7 only if they are in same direction. Here I have 3 Newton, 4 Newton. This length will be lesser than 7. Sum of two sides of a triangle will be greater than the third side of the triangle. Sum of two sides of the triangle will be greater than the third side of the triangle.
Yes, sir.
So, if two vectors are represented as two sides of a triangle taken in one order, third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order is the resultant. Suppose you take one vector this way, A, another vector B this way. They are two sides of a triangle taken in one order. Third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order is the resultant. I will further explain. First, write down the statement. First statement here. Statement 1. Then you will write this. First, write down the statement. If two vectors are in the same direction, if two vectors are in the same direction, add them numeric. Add them numeric. If two vectors are in the same direction, add them numeric. Write down both these examples. Write down both these examples. Tell me when you're done till here.
Done, sir.
Now write down the statement for triangle law. Triangle law statement I'll dictate. If two vectors are represented as two sides of a triangle, taken in one order, then the third side of the triangle taken in reverse order. Then the third side of the triangle taken in reverse order is the resultant. Then the third side of the triangle taken in reverse order is the resultant.
Sir, so in the first example for the resultant, it will be the addition of a plus b, no? Like the values of a plus b will be
Will
added.
not be. Will not be. If A is 3, B is 4, will this length be 7?
No.
It will be less than that.
So I think we'll need to calculate.
Right? How to calculate will come to. That's a different issue.
Okay.
You can measure it using even a scale. But the third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order is the result.
Okay.
Two vectors will be numerically added only if they are in the same direction. 3 Newton and 4 Newton. Find the resultant. Find resultant force.
5 Newton.
5 Newton.
And whenever you are reporting a vector, you should report even direction. So this will be the resultant, and resultant is not 7 Newton, it is 5 Newton, making an angle of theta with the 3 Newton. Resultant is 5 Newton, making an angle of theta with 3 Newton force. With 3 Newton, it makes an angle of theta. How much is tan theta? 4/3. So when you are reporting a vector, its direction is also mandate.
Uh,
53 degrees.
Do all of you know 37 and 53 degrees sine and cos?
Yes, sir.
No. Quite a few are typing no. It's okay. I'll come to that. Trigonometry, next chapter, mathematical physics will cover all that. Sine 53, cos 53, sine 37, cos 37. We'll go step by step, nothing to it. Can I rub the right hand side part of it? Now here students get it out. What if two vectors are arbitrary, one there, one here? How will you add them? Translate the other. You can always move a vector parallel to itself. It will remain identical. I have one vector arbitrarily A, another vector arbitrary B, somewhere. How will I add both these vectors? Translate them. Bring this to this point. Have a look at this. This B, I'll have to translate it here. These both should be parallel. They should be of the same length. Do they appear to be of the same length? Perfect. So they both should be parallel. They are of the same length. So you can translate a vector. What is it called? Translation of a vector. You can translate it here. Now you have A and B as two sides of a triangle taken in one order. Third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order is the resultant. A plus B. Measure this length, that will be the resultant. I am repeating this again and again. This is important. Don't tell me A is 4 Newton, B is 6 Newton, the resultant is 10 Newton. No, resultant will be lesser than 10 in this case. A is 4 Newton, B is 6 Newton, resultant is 10 Newton if and only if they are in same direction. If not, resultant will be less than 10 Newton. Measure this particular length. That length will be the result. Till here, is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Now in triangle law, I have only one disadvantage. Anytime I want to draw, I need a protractor, scale, and the geometric equipment. I'll have to measure this length. Right? So this disadvantage will be overcome. But before we overcome that, we define something called subtraction of vectors as well. There is no new rule for subtraction of a vector. It is nothing but a plus of minus. A minus b will be a plus of minus b. A minus b is a plus of minus b. Implies. Watch out for this. This is vector A and this is vector B. How will I get A minus B?
Reverse
If
the
this is
direction of B.
plus B, this will be minus B. Now I should add A and minus B. Addition of these two vectors, that two sides of a triangle taken in one order. Third side of the triangle, A plus of minus B. This length will be A minus B. I will take one more example to explain this. Suppose I have A this way and I have B this way. Now what do? A minus B will be A plus of minus B. Reverse the direction of B. Minus B. Same length in opposite direction. Now resultant of A and minus B will be this particular length. R is equal to A minus B. Measure this length, that will be A minus B. What if you ask me B minus A? I'll explain, take it down till here. There is no new rule for subtraction. It is the triangle law of addition itself. Only difference, you will take A plus of minus B.
Sir, if they are in same direction, then we can numerically subtract, right?
Comfortably. Here also, if this is A and B, reverse B. It is this minus this.
Okay.
Sir, how would be the subtraction of anti-parallel vectors?
I will
Sorry.
put it in the board. I will put it on the board.
Okay. Sir.
Can I rub the board? No. First of all, parallel vector. Suppose I tell you this is 4 Newton and this is 3 Newton. Call this as F1, call this as F1 plus F2, what would you do? It would be 7 Newton of a force in the same direction. What will F1 minus F2 be? F1 is 4 Newton in this direction, minus F2 will be this, minus 3 Newton. Minus, this is F1 plus of minus F2. Right? Now when I add both of them, I will get 1 Newton in the direction of the 4 Newton force. 4 plus of minus 3. 4 plus of minus 3. 1 Newton in the direction of 4 Newton force. Is the point clear? If I am subtracting F1 minus F2, F1 minus F2 will be 1 Newton in the direction of a 4 Newton force. Suppose if somebody is asking me, F1 is 4 Newton and F2 is 3 Newton. F2 original direction is in this direction. Here F2 and F1 are in the same direction. Here F2 is in this direction. Right? F1 plus F2. F1 plus F2 will be 1 Newton in this direction. This point is it clear to all?
Yes,
If I
sir.
am being pushed by 4 Newton in this direction by someone and with someone in the opposite direction 3 Newton, resultant will become 1 Newton. So without your knowledge, you are directly subtracting because there is an opposite direction. Anti-parallel vectors, when I am adding them, they get subtracted by default. 4 Newton, 3 Newton, I am left with the resultant of 1 Newton. Mathematically, I don't want to think so much. Mathematically, will I get the answer? Simple. What you are expected to do is write F1 as 4 I cap, F2 as 3 minus I cap. F1 is 4 I cap, F2 as 3 minus I cap. Add both of them. F1 plus F2 is 4 minus 3 I cap. This is 1 I cap. Sounds much easier. Now, if you ask me F1 minus F2, it becomes 4 minus of minus 3. It becomes 7 Newton. If you ask me F1 minus F2, it will become 4 minus of minus 3. It will become 4 plus 3. Take it down till here. I'll dictate a problem.
Sir, in there, on the left hand side, why did you write minus 3?
Because you asked for F1 minus F2.
But sir, this should be 3 na. So sir, then 4 minus 3 will happen. No, else 4 minus minus 3 can be 7.
Here both are in same direction. Why will you take minus of minus?
No, down, down. Here.
Exactly. Now it is in the reverse. Now F1 plus of minus F2. 4 plus of minus 3.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
F1 minus F2 is F1 plus of minus F2.
Yes, sir, understood.
Can I dictate a problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
A boy walks with a velocity of 3 meters per second. A boy walks with a velocity of 3 meters per second towards east. A boy walks with a velocity of 3 meters per second towards east. He then turns towards north. He then turns towards north. And continues to move with the same speed. He then turns towards north and continues to move with the same speed. He then turns towards north and continues to move with the same speed. Find the change in his velocity. Find the change in his velocity.
So isn't time interval required?
No, change in velocity पूछा है उसने, acceleration थोड़ी पूछा.
Sir, 3 meter per second towards the
East.
northeast, yeah.
I repeat the
Sir,
question. A
rotating.
boy
Sir, I
keeps
think only
moving.
the direction has
second.
changed. The magnitude is same.
1 second. A boy moves with a velocity of 3 meters per second towards east. He then turns towards north and continues to move with the same speed. Find the change in his velocity.
Route 18 northwest.
Route
Sir, 0 meter per second.
Route 18 northwest.
80.
No, Route 18, 18 northwest.
Yeah, Route 18 northwest.
Northeast.
Northeast.
Northeast, Route 18.
Sir, route 18 minus 3 northeast.
Number.
Sir, route 18 45 degree towards the northeast.
0 meters per second, 90 degree anti-clockwise.
Wait. All of you wait. Have a look at this. The question given is, boy walks with a velocity of 3 meters per second due east. He then turns towards north and continues to move with the same speed. Meters per second. This is V final, this is V initial. Now, what is the change in velocity? This will be V final minus V initial. Do you all agree with that?
Yes.
This is V final minus of plus of minus V initial. I'll keep V final as it is along the y-axis. This is V final 3 meters per second. You translated this vector to the origin. Yes, I can. Same direction, same magnitude. plus of minus B initial. I have to reverse this direction. I'll have to reverse B initial with a negative sign will be this in the reverse direction. This in the reverse direction. Is this clear?
Yes, sir, got it.
Now these are two sides of a triangle taken in one order. Third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order. This is 3, this is 3, this will be 3 root 2 meters per second. This is north, this is west. This angle is 45 degree. It will be northwest. Why is this angle 45 degree here? This is 3, this is 3. Tan 45 is 1. Right? So northwest, 3 root 2 meters per second northwest is this change in velocity. 3 root 2 meters per second northwest. This is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. If this is the vector, 3 root 2 meters per second northwest is the resultant change in velocity.
Sir, can you repeat once little? It's
This is V final, this is V initial. V final minus V initial is my requirement. This is V final plus of minus V initial. So minus V initial means this should be reversed, which I have done.
yes.
V final I kept as it is without reversal because I need V final as it is. This is V final.
Yes.
So now this and this are two sides of a triangle taken in one order. Third side of the triangle taken in the reverse order. What will the length of the third side be? 3 root 2?
Yes, yes, yes. Understood now.
Note. Write down a note. Is this over?
Sir, 2 minutes.
Okay, take this down. Take this. No. Write down a no.
Sir,
If
done.
three, pardon?
Sir, done.
If three vectors are represented, no. If three vectors are represented as three sides of a triangle, if three vectors are represented as three sides of a triangle taken in one order, taken in one order,
If three vectors
are represented as three sides of a triangle taken in one order, are represented as three sides of a triangle taken in one order, then the resultant is zero. Then the resultant is zero. If I have a vector A and a vector B and a vector C, three vectors are represented as three sides of the triangle taken in one order. A plus B plus C will be 0. Why? Because A plus B resultant was R in this direction, opposite direction. A plus B was like this, R was in this direction. Now R and C are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. R and C, A plus B was R, which is equal in magnitude, the same length, and opposite in direction to C. So R and C will cancel out each other and give me 0. A plus B, are you all getting this point? A and B, this is the resultant. If I have C opposite in direction, R and C will cancel out each other. So the resultant will be 0. So if three vectors are represented as three sides of the triangle taken in one order, somebody is saying 120 degree, you don't need 120 degree, any triangle will do. 1, 2, 3, even then the resultant is 0. A, B, C. A plus B plus C is 0. Nothing to do with 120 degree. Right?
Sir,
Huh.
sir, if end of C is not meeting with A, then can't we say they
Then
are
it
in
won't
one
be a
order?
triangle, no, yaar. If end of C doesn't meet with A, will it be a triangle? Shall I call this
Okay.
be a triangle? Is this a triangle?
No.
No. Right? If three vectors are represented as three sides of a triangle taken in one order, resultant will be 0.
Sir,
Huh.
sir, can we rearrange the vectors to make them co-initial, and then we can say they will all make
Does that
equal
help
angles?
you see, does that help you in any way? Then do it. Just for the sake of doing it, don't do it. It doesn't help you in any way. If you rearrange them,
No, sir.
if
When
you
we
know
rearrange,
Lang's theorem, you should know all that to think of it. They are already arranged as three sides of a triangle. Can there be anything easier than that? Resultant is 0. Because according to triangle law, A plus B will be R. R and C are equal and opposite. Resultant is 0. Isn't it?
yes, sir.
Sir, so the resultant is 0 irrespective of angle, no? As long as the
Exactly.
triangle is formed.
Any angle, acute, what triangle it is, it doesn't matter. Maybe right angle, maybe isosceles, maybe equilateral, maybe a triangle like this. We don't care. But if it is a triangle and all three vectors are taken in one order, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, resultant is 0.
Okay, sir.
I know I'm left with 10 more minutes, but I don't want to rush through the next subtopic called parallelogram law of addition. Today we have learned only up to triangle law of addition. First 2-3 lectures will go a bit slow so that it will help people who are catching up. I see some people have already done some part of vectors, well and good, but we will go a bit slow till we reach the triangle, till we reach dot product and cross product. Right from there, we'll pick up some speed. Fine. Please read Halliday, Resnick, Crane if possible. Initially, you will feel it to be too elaborate. You'll feel it to be a bit boring. Students give me several complaints initially. It's like a cup of coffee. Once you start getting accustomed to it, you cannot leave. Getting accustomed to it is a bit difficult. Right?
So,
Sir, we have to, for the textbooks, we have to get only volume 1, right?
Temporarily, volume 1 will do.
Okay.
sir, can you once again tell which textbook do we need to refer?
Once again, what?
Which textbook do we need to refer for physics?
I didn't get him. What is his doubt?
The textbook which we need.
Textbooks, previous lecture recording. I have shown the textbooks all. You'll have to see that.
Sir, do we have to get the books on our own or will they be provided later?
You will have to get the books on your own. With the present situation, once upon a time, Pace Campus, they used to provide. Provide in the sense they used to give it at discounted rates. Now try to get it because the present scenario of the COVID, no office of Pace is being open. We were open even last month, but I think they have closed it again. Don't wait. Order them, get it done. Okay.
Sir, I have Halliday, Resnick, Walker. So is there much difference between Halliday, Resnick, Crane and Halliday,
In fact,
Resnick,
in
Walker?
second year, you will find little bit of a difference. Temporarily, you can follow Halliday, Resnick, Walker. No issue.
Okay, sir.
Sir, on Amazon, there are 2-3 books of the same, but sir, is there any difference? Because there are 2-3 publishers of the book in Amazon.
Follow only one publisher. I will show this book again. Willie Students Edition. Don't buy the foreign edition, it will be very costly. This is Willie Student Edition.
Yes.
Right? Willie India Students Edition. Halliday, Resnick, Crane, Volume 1.
So, do we have to get H.C. Verma Concept of Physics?
Compulsory. Okay. Compulsory.
So these 2 books we have to get, right?
Are compulsory. Reference books, people who want additional practice can buy either DC Pandey or Cengage. Any one of them, don't buy both. Pardon?
Sir, does this book cost around 800? Because on Amazon it is that much.
Let me see the cost. Subsidy. Then you are speaking about both volumes, volume 1 and volume 2.
No, only volume 1.
On this, the cost is not given here.
Okay.
800, I think is, yes, reasonable.
Okay, sir.
But I remember both volumes at 800. Pata nahi, then maybe my memory. On this, cost is not given. Subsidized version, Willie India Private Limited.
Okay, sir.
So see you people in the next class. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Bye, sir.